Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Never Normal Podcast. I'm your host, Britt, and this is my partner, Casey.
Did we fool you? That was a solid intro. High five.
Pretty good at it.
That was solid.
Go team.
Go team. We're still pre-recording for vacation, so that's why we're in the same clothes as we were the last episode. To touch on again, don't send us clothes. We have clothes. It's just been a long week, and we're doing Chillcast tonight.
I will take clothes, though.
Casey will take clothes. His requests are in the description below on brands that he likes.
It's pretty much like two.
Yeah, what? American Eagle and... what's the other one?
I guess like Wranglers, more or less.
Oh, as far as jeans.
No, jeans is still American Eagle.
Yeah.
It's just American Eagle.
Just American Eagle. Stop staring at them. We did try to record this once, and it failed miserably. There were cats.
Had trains, cats.
Yeah, we live next to...
my dyslexia.
Dyslexia really got a hold of you.
So if there's some cuts, there was some stuff in the other one that we really liked and wanted to include in this.
Yeah.
Such as their brand sponsor. That's not sponsoring us at all, but I wish they would.
Yeah, so... one, happy birthday to Odin. It's his birthday month because we don't know the date. He's our
Odin
rescue.
is our cat.
He's our rescue. He's so cute. You guys have seen me. He's running through the house right now with Binks.
He's very heavy, and we have hardwood floors.
Yes, he's a tank. He
will walk on you while you're trying to sleep.
And he's so heavy, and he's got the little...
his
little cheeks are what get me. He's got his little chubby cheeks.
I like his
little squish face. He's so cute. We love our cats. We'll
bring him in one day, and he will be spicy.
Yeah, we call him the spicy boy. I call him Bobby, too. Bobby Hill. But no, happy birthday to him. He's 1. But also happy birthday to Casey. Casey's birthday was on the 12th. We went to, what was it, Token Game Tavern,
Token Game Tavern, yes.
Which was really cool. They had really cool themed drinks.
They've now embarked on a new adventure, according to the commercial on the radio that I listened to.
What's their new adventure?
Bitburger.
Yeah, we went and had Bitburger.
They have 80s themed music and nostalgia on the wall. It was pretty freaking awesome.
It was really cool. I posted a couple of clips.
They had the full He-Man set on the wall.
Yeah, like the
with
big
Castle
toy.
Grayskull and everything.
Yeah.
All kinds of toys. There's everywhere. They have these little arcades. I played Rampage. They've got milkshakes and just a fantastic burger.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was a really cool atmosphere, and Token Game Tavern had a really cool atmosphere. They had really neat drinks. Mine had boba in it.
They had a drink that had a bomb pop in it, and that was amazing. It was like vodka something else and a
it tasted so good.
Bomb pop is like my favorite. It's not an ice cream, so I'm not going to say ice cream, but it's like...
it's popsicle.
Virgin treat.
Yeah, it was so good. Not sponsored. I wouldn't turn it down.
If you all do want to sponsor us, that drink would be amazing.
No, it's a really cool place in Knoxville. We will definitely be going back. There's another bar on that little strip that
Y'all have my heart.
Yeah. Casey had a great birthday. I had fun experiencing that.
They have video game controllers on the bar top connected to TVs back there so you can play video games while you drink your delicious bomb pop drink.
Yeah. It was a super cool setup.
Wall to wall video games. And they have high score of the week on the wall so that you can see who to beat.
Not to mention their menu looked pretty good. We didn't eat the food at the tavern.
You can go there and order from Bitburger, and it's only 100 steps away. They just walk it right on to you.
Yeah. So super cool. We fell in love with that place.
And there's a bar that we haven't got to experience yet. We are going to go.
Yeah, it's in between.
It's in between the two, separating them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called like the Space Bar or something like that. The whole thing is like black lights and neon. I might be too old to go, but I'm still going to.
Yeah, we should definitely still go check it out. We stayed out till 10:05 that night.
We are
partying
partiers.
hard. Ooh, those 30s.
Haven't had a late night like that.
Oh, not out on the town. But no, it was really fun. I had a lot of fun doing that with you. Fun. And one of our friends went. It was really fun to just go and hang out and grab a couple of drinks and some good food. And
if you were the girl in the Harley Quinn outfit in the space bar when we made him go check it out, we apologize since his reaction was, he shut the door back. Yeah, so I'm going to set the scene for a minute. Andrew, first and foremost, we love you. The windows, it's all blacked out, so you don't know what it is, okay? The door says spaceport something. Yeah, so we thought something. Whatever it was, because there were people going in. It looked like an escape room. It really did, so I was like, oh, dude, what if it's like a cool space-themed escape room? Well, Andrew's like, I'll go open the door, and we were like, nuh-uh, and then he did. He opens it, and I see the neon lights, but he opens it, and he goes, ah! And then he shuts the door and walks away really fast. He's like, there was just a chick just dressed like some Harley Quinn looking, it's a space bar. And so if we do go back, we are just going to go ahead and apologize now to the staff for how he reacted when he opened the door. Was not expecting that, because it's a little bitty strip mall in Knoxville. Okay, you would not expect. If you're from the area, it's next to the Dollar Theater in Windsor Court. Yeah. So you don't expect to see that, but I can't wait for us to go back. I cannot wait for us to return to Token Tavern. Yes, we will be back. Because I want to try their food. We require your sponsorship. I want drinks. We don't require it. Okay, but I still want the drink. Yeah, and food. Love food. What are we talking about tonight? Well, the same thing that we talked about earlier, but we had to re-record. But you all may or may not know that already. But here we are. Yes. So we're going to talk about a super creepy phenomenon that I'm not a fan of. It's just really weird. I have my own opinions on what it is. You do too at this point. But I think maybe us talking about it again, we might be able to elaborate better on it. So, I'm going to talk about black-eyed children. I feel like you about said the black-eyed peas. No, I was debating on saying BEC because... Because I keep wanting to say black-eyed peas? No, because black-eyed children is a lot. So I was just going to say BEC. Fergalicious. Anyways. Also, BEC, I'm dyslexic, which is part of the reason we're having to record this. So, re-record this. So, I'm going to mess it up. It's okay. You can say black-eyed children if that's not a good idea. Okay. Okay. Black-eyed peas. Black-eyed peas. So, I had originally thought, I wrote this for my blog a couple years ago when I had a blog. I thought that it was like a creepypasta, but it's something that has been talked about and phenomena recorded since the 1980s. Woohoo! It became popular in the 80s, I should say, through shared stories. So I'm going to kind of read the blog that I wrote on this, and it's going to be on the account of Brian Bethel, who posted or published this report in 1996. He's a Texas reporter. He's a Texas reporter. Peter. He had his own encounter with black-eyed children in Abilene, I think it is. Abilene, Texas, in 1996. And I didn't talk about this the first time, but he claims that a second person had a similar experience with the similar looking children in Portland, Oregon. But I didn't really look into that noise because I was just interested in what he had to say. But here's the excerpt that I pulled from his article for my blog post way back when.
it does get kind of long, so we are going to take a break real quick, and then I will get into it, and then we'll share our thoughts.
Welcome back.
Allergies are terrible. Okay, so this is the excerpt from his publication. One night in Abilene, Texas, Bethel left his apartment around 9:30 p.m. to go drop a payment off for his internet service with Camelot Communications in a drop box at an old location of theirs off of North 1st Street in a downtown shopping center. The center was next to a $1.50 movie theater, which on this particular night was showing the movie Mortal Kombat. Bethel passed the theater and parked in an empty space at the center where he could use the light from the theater's marquee to help him write his check. Then someone knocked on his driver's side window. A little surprised, Bethel turned to find two boys, aged somewhere between the ages of 10 and 14. One boy was taller than the other, wearing a gray pullover hooded shirt with a gray checkered pattern. He had olive-colored skin and curly medium-length brown hair. The second boy had pale skin with a trace of freckles and pale orange hair. He was wearing a hooded shirt that was a light green in color. He looked around nervously as the other boy talked to Bethel. Bethel's first impression was that they were not related to one another and that they were going to ask him for money. Bethel's feelings on the whole matter shifted to an unreasonable fear for no reason. The tall boy smiled, and Bethel stated it chilled his blood. As Bethel explained it, I could feel fight or flight response kicking in. Something I knew instinctually was not right, but I didn't know what it could be. Bethel rolled the window down slightly, enough to talk to the boys. The tall boy smiled wider, showing very, very white teeth. At least he had good dental hygiene, whatever he was.
That is true.
The boys wanted to see the movie, but had forgotten their money. They needed a ride home to get their money, and wanted Bethel to give them a ride. And while the voice of the boy was young, something in the way he worded was off. The tall boy was too confident, not acting like a child asking a stranger a favor. He was acting as if Bethel was required to let him in the car, and the question was just a formality. Bethel hesitated to answer the request. Then he noticed the second boy eyeing him nervously with a mixture of confusion and guilt on his face. Both boys seemed a bit surprised that Bethel had not agreed immediately. The tall boy spoke again, assuring Bethel that they just wanted to go to their house and that they were just two little boys. Bethel was sure something was wrong, so he stalled for time by asking what movie they were going to see. The tall boy said they wanted to see Mortal Kombat, of course. Bethel looked back at the theater and realized that the last showing of the movie for the night had started an hour previously, so the boys could not possibly see the movie that night. The silent boy was looking around, increasingly getting nervous. The tall boy started talking soothingly, assuring Bethel that they couldn't get in his car unless he let them, and that they would just go to their mother's house, and then the boys would be gone before you knew it. Bethel realized his hand was at the door's lock and that he had already started to open it. He jerked his hands away violently and looked back up at the tall boy to try to explain his actions. In the moment he had pulled his hand away from the lock, Bethel had broken eye contact with the tall boy for the first time in this conversation. Now when he looked back, he saw what he had failed to notice before. The eyes of both boys were just coal-black orbs. No irises or pupils. The silent boy now had a horrified look on his face. Bethel guessed that the look on his face had been giving away his discovery. The tall boy was now clearly angry and continued to ask Bethel to let them in the car. "We won't hurt you. You have to let us in. We don't have a gun." That was enough for Bethel. He basically noped out of there. He threw the car in reverse, and the boy started yelling in anger at him with a touch of panic as he drove away. And he sped down the sidewalk, and the theater was deserted. Since this time, the encounters have now been classified as creepypasta lore, along with things like Slenderman, if you didn't know what creepypasta is. While the encounters are still said to occur to this day, many argue on what exactly black-eyed children are. Some claims include vampires, aliens, demonic entities. Some of the claims even tried to say that the black-eyed children have talons or feet with claws.
I hope they have feet.
With claws, or they have demonic attributes. However, when I did my research for this article, I found like a handful out of the many claims, so I really don't think that's a thing. I think that's people just playing off of the quote-unquote could it be demonic thing.
And talons for feet, so they're like bird children.
Birdman. Terrified
of birds.
So here's just a few things that I thought was really interesting, and then we'll kind of talk about what our theories are. Black-eyed children always have to ask for something, whether it's, coming in close quarters with you, they have to ask you, and you have to let them in your space or let them in your car.
Damn freeloaders.
Or your house. They can't just come in and without you allowing them, is what I'm trying to say. There are no reported stories of what happens when you let them in to your vehicle or home. All the stories that I came across were from people who noped right out. There is one thing that I kind of came across, and I talked about it before, when an elderly couple let two black-eyed children in, and the women went to go get their cordless phone, because this was the 90s, and we didn't have tons of cell phones at that time, and while she went to go get the phone, the man was asking the black-eyed children questions, and he began bleeding from his ears and his nose. And by the time the woman got back in to the living space, they were gone. And they took him to the ER, and they couldn't find anything that would cause it. I don't know if anything else happened after that. So, that's the only thing that I really found about they let them in the house. But other than that, everything else is people noping out of there. All encounters that I have come across, the people involved had a really big sense of dread and uneasiness when the kids were in their presence trying to get in through stuff. Some victims did report nosebleeds or ringing in their ears when they were too close in proximity. So that's the blog post that I had written.
Maybe their ears started bleeding because they were screeching because they were bird children with their talon feet.
Is that your new theory?
Yes, they're just bird children.
Well,
part turkey.
I know. part turkey, part alien.
Aliens.
Well, I don't think they were vampires, unless they were energy vampires. Colin Robinson is what I think of anytime I talk about energy vampires.
He too fell in love with, spoiler if you haven't got there, with a screeching bird person.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that episode was wild. But, so I don't think they're vampires. I think, and you mentioned it before about the whole you have to let us in thing. That's people kind of playing off of that trope.
Yeah, I forgot where that began, but if I recall, that actually is a more recent theory of vampires have to be invited in.
Well, I mean, that goes all the way back to the Universal movies.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Relatively, I mean, if you look at the history about the vampire sightings,
it's
they've been around hundreds of years, so something, within the last 100 years is relatively recent.
I don't think they're demonic entities. I think that's people just playing off of.
Everybody likes to slap the demon card down.
They do, and it.
We're in the Bible Belt, so everybody's demons and slapping tables and what have you.
It's very much something that gets under my skin when it comes to the paranormal, as far as it's demonic, it's demonic, it's demonic. No, just because it has certain attributes does not mean that it's inherently demonic. I don't think black-eyed children are demonic. I think that they can be aliens. I think they are a race of aliens that travel down in pairs to gather information.
They have in their ship, it is a like a pod that launches them in pairs, so they travel in pairs. The fruit.
Okay, no, that's not what I'm saying.
They just fly on down to Earth and it just splats and there they are.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's a very weird picture.
Like an egg.
No.
Bird children.
No, but I could buy the theory that they're aliens. I mean, I certainly believe that aliens exist, and I think that they're trying to get into your vehicles or into your house to tag you for an abduction for studies.
Well, listen, I'm going to slap the David Duchovny card down and say I want to believe, because I do, but I think that they are a paranormal manifestation where enough people has read it and retold the story and has made it believable. I think that's a powerful thing that can be done. So I believe that that's just how it's gone down.
Kind of like with Slenderman at this point. I mean, there's people that talk about experiences and stuff with him or seeing him, quote unquote. But I think it's because he wasn't donned because of a paranormal experience. He was created. I
think if you believe in something strongly enough, kind of like our last episode, if you believe in something strongly enough, you will see it. If you
put forth that energy into the...
No, it goes more like along the line of, if you look for something, you'll find it. Kind of like the flaws in people. If you think somebody, before you even get to know them, has a flaw, you will look for flaws and you will see them. That's so similar to that. I think that people may have experienced like two kids standing there needing some help or something, and they were just like, this is what I saw. Or this paranormal manifestation had manifested, and that's what they are seeing because enough people believed it.
So like it manifested for one person, and that one person talked about it, and then other people were talking about it, so now it's just like a major manifestation, essentially. Okay.
It just fires at random because that's its MO.
Okay, I could buy that. I could see that. I want to believe it's aliens.
If it was aliens, I still just don't see them being like, please sir, might you let us in your car?
Well, I mean, it could be just a certain race that disguises themselves as children.
Look, aliens will take you through your wall.
I mean, they could. We saw that episode. But, of the X-Files. We're talking about the X-Files. But
David Duchovny, I love you.
I think that it could possibly be that. It could possibly be a manifestation. It could possibly be just a paranormal being or set of beings that just manifests, kind of like the Hat Man, which we'll talk about in another episode, of course, because there's a lot of theories that...
The Trash Man.
And the Trash Man.
Yeah, the Trash Man.
But, yeah, so that's our thoughts on Black-Eyed Children. This one was kind of a shorter one, but I think the phenomenon is interesting. I think it's creepy. Don't want to ever experience it, but...
whatever you are, if you're watching,
don't come to our house.
Don't do it. You'll still be standing outside, and I will probably be like, nope, and go turn on my TV and sit there.
Yeah.
Away from you.
Yeah, you'll definitely not be welcome if you're one of those paranormal
don't knock on the
entities.
door, because that's rude. I'll be watching TV.
But we hope that you guys liked this episode. Hope you guys have a great weekend, because it will be Friday when this premieres. And if you want to share your paranormal experiences, please let us know in the comments below, or you can hit us up on Instagram, or you can hit us up on TikTok, because I post snippets and like some behind the scenes stuff and outtakes all on TikTok. So hit us up there if you're interested in coming on for an interview. We also would love to interview and talk to you about your paranormal experience, or if you just want to submit them, that's fine.
Unless you have black eyes, and then you're still not going to be invited in.
Yeah, no creepy kids. None of that creepy, none of that paranormal alien stuff up in here. Not allowed. We've spoken.
No, I'll still invite aliens in. I'm alright with that.
Oh, okay. Well, if you guys are aliens, it's fine. If you guys are aliens, it's fine. But we hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Have a great night and weekend, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.